Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Monday, the 28th of October. Well, it's the most wonderful time of the year. That's right, folks, it's Redcar races. However, it's a dreadful meeting. There is an interesting aspect to this, but so regular subscribers, you'll be well aware that there's a draw bias, a huge draw bias at red car races. For new subscribers, you may not be aware, but now you are. So what happens is they all go to the far side rail. But the interesting thing is, so currently the ground is good to soft, soft in places. As you're well aware, the soft ground will be more towards the stand side. However, the rail, no, not the rails. The stalls are in a different position. The stalls are on the stand side. So that means, I don't want to sound like I'm just explaining. So the stand side rail is where the high numbers normally are, but the stalls are normally in the centre of the course. But they are now, as you're looking to, in fact, I'm getting confused now. So basically, the low numbers have got further to travel now to get to the far side rail. That's not a problem. That could exacerbate the draw bias. It's a shame there's no rain because I don't think there's been any rain. I haven't checked, but the fact that there's a difference in the going, which is good to soft in places. The soft in places is the stand side, and it gets quicker as they head towards the far side rail. So it's a dreadful meeting, so I've gone for a few in each race, and all I am prepared to do is use my free bet from Sky Bet. The problem is Sky Bet have pretty much latched onto the draw bias. They're not offering great value with the prices. However, I believe Bet365 I've got it wrong in a couple of races, and I'm just going to flick Bet365 on my laptop, and I shall tell you which ones I think they've got wrong. So just give me a second. Right. So I'm going to scroll down on this video, and basically what I'm going to do is I'll have £7.50's worth of free bets with Sky Bet. I'll have £5 worth of the free bets spread out on the each way doubles, and then I'll have the other free bet on the each way trebles. You might think it's a naff way of betting, but it's a free bet, and I'm struggling to really find a bet. But I did actually. I was looking at the race meeting for Redcar early on Sunday morning, and I picked a massive dark horse, and I'll talk you through it. The problem is it's opened up favourite. It's like I can see why, but I shall get into it now. So I've actually picked three horses in this race. As I said, it's probably not the most sensible bet, but it's just a free bet. So the first race I'll be having a bet is in the 2:30 at Redcar, and they're paying 5 places instead of 3. So the dark horse that I picked was 2 Be Tanned, and unfortunately it's 100 to 30. I won't take the price, so you can see me clicking the SP now. The second selection is Fast Fred, and the other selection is Visitant. So these three horses, I shall talk you through two of them. The third one, Visitant, I think it'll run its race. It's too big a price at 14 to 1. It's absolutely dreadful race. There's so many horses that have only ran a few times, but the favourite is one of them, that 2 Be Tanned, and I'm going to talk you through it. So it's trained by George Scott. This horse, I've looked at the breeding, and it was this morning, so I might get confused with the actual sire and dam sire. Sire and dam. So I believe the sire is Sadler's Rock. I believe this sires normally horses that run over both codes, National Hunt and the Flat. So on the Flat, it's generally sired horses 1 mile 2 furlongs and above. On the national on the national hunt circuit, it's been siren horses 2.5 mile to 3 mile. right? This sire absolutely oozes stamina. So I looked at the dam thinking, I don't know, it's probably a 6 furlong miler. The dam is also um, packed full of stamina. So I look at this horse, this To Be Tanned, and it's not done a great deal apart from its last run, which last run was quite a while ago. So it's actually ran way above its actual handicap mark. This horse could possibly be absolutely thrown in. So this horse is crying out for a massive distance or a step up in distance. What it's going to get it because its last run was over 6 furlongs. Today's run or Monday's run is over 1 mile 2 furlongs. This could be potentially the best handicap horse we've ever seen. Yeah, it's ridiculous. All its shocking runs have been based on sprinting. Well, it's never wanted sprinting in any of its bloodlines. So To Be Tan could be potentially ridiculously well handicapped. However, it doesn't always work that way because we don't know how fit it is. So, if I'm being honest, Fast Fred is another massively interesting horse. Fast Fred ran at Redcar last time, or it has done for the last 2 times, but most notably last time. There was a really strong pace last time set by, I think it was called something, a horse called something like Sure Start, where the leaders went off way too quick. Well, this was the only horse that went with them and stayed right up there. All the vast majority of the horses that finished in the placings came from miles behind. I think this horse could have a prominent position and benefit basically from Harrison Shaw taking the mount again. And I think it could be difficult to pass this horse. I think it ran a cracking race last time. And obviously, Visitant is the other horse. It's a big price, and I think it should run its race. It always seems to run into a place at some point. But To Be Tanned could be a huge, I say a huge dark horse. It is a dark horse because it's not done anything. But unfortunately, it's 100 to 30 favourite currently. Fast Fred is the most obvious horse, in my opinion, in the race to actually run its race. And Visitant could run a place. You'll see Visitant right at the bottom of these selections. So as I said, so that's over 1 mile and 2. So you would generally want horses up with the pace to benefit from being near the rail. You don't want them coming from behind and having to come wide into the straight to overtake the front runners. Otherwise, you're running on the slower ground. Anyway, let me get into the straight course runners. So these horses I've gone because the low numbers, and hopefully they head towards the far side. There's some tasty prices, but it's Sky Bet, and that's the problem. They're not really offering you much. What will happen is Sky Bet are offering you no value whatsoever, but Bet 365 are offering you bigger prices. However, the prices will plummet because they always do, because the draw buys will become obvious during the day. So I'm probably going to have to take these stinking prices. So in the 4:15, sorry, I think I'm coming down with a cold. I just can't think. In the 4:15 at Redcar, paying 4 places instead of 3. I'm going for Music Society at 13-2. Belsito at 15-2. Belsito is currently 14s with Bet 365. Normally Belsito messes up the start. If it doesn't and goes straight towards that far side, it's got absolutely every chance. And 14-1 is basically double what you're getting there with Sky Bet. And then the other horse, Stingy Price, is Deputy. So I think honestly, I'm going to have to SP some of these prices. Deputy also drawn low. So those, I think the horses are drawn 1, 3, and 4. And then onto the 340 at Redcar. So I've just gone for 2 horses in this race. There you can see Visitant. I've gone for in the 340 at Redcar. I've gone for Revich at 6-1, and Poet's Dawn is too big a price at 16-1. They'll be after a bit of prize money. The Easterby as well. It's drawn 2. It's a front runner. It should have every chance. It normally runs at Ripon, and it's a Ripon specialist, but It's ran well at Redcar, I believe, in the past. Revic, I think, has got a right chance. I did tip it last time it ran at Air, and it drifted. So I think I tipped it from like 7-1. Really fancied it, and I think it drifted to 25s. But it actually ran a cracker. It finished. I think it finished just outside the placings. But something wasn't right that day. I don't know. It just absolutely stunk. But Revic, I think, has got every chance. It will be mid-division in this race, but I think there's only 8 runners. It's such a terrible card to back on. Redcar is tomorrow, but I'm having a bet because it's Redcar and it's my free bet. So as I said, I'll probably be placing in the doubles. I'll be using £5 worth of the free bet. So Sky Bet will work that out automatically for me, and then I'll use one of the free bets, which is the £2.50 on the each way section. It's like 8p each way trebles or something like that. So I'm probably made this really confusing. You've seen the horses that I like the look of. It's a dreadful meeting. Shop around for the prices, but if you leave it too late, you will get robbed because Sky Bet do know the time of day with this draw now. I'm not quite sure Bet365 are cottoned on yet, but as I said, the stalls are on the stand side, so they'll all have to travel much further to get that far side rail. But obviously, the high numbers will be wearing the wellies. The low numbers will pretty much have the racing flats on. Yeah, so I'll leave that with you. I just want to make another thing. If anybody likes a bet in the US election, sorry, I hate to keep using the term conspiracy theory because it gets boring now. Because this video probably get flagged with some kind of they like to fact check it, don't they, by using certain words and putting Wikipedia's definition of it. So my opinion is, you've seen so many videos over the months, or I have anyway, where I believe you're going to see the gradual demolition of the US. Oh, Charlie, that'll never happen. Well, you've got bricks forming. The dollar will eventually collapse. They are weakening everything, in my opinion, to do with America. You are not seeing everything on television. I don't watch television because I haven't got a television, but the alternative channels that I watch, in my opinion, I already told you in a previous video about DJT, Trump, the attempt on him. I told you, I even recorded on somebody's phone 2 predictions at work. Well, the DJT was one of them. A tsunami was another one. So get ready for that. I'm not saying it'll come true. And here I am just explaining just how bonkers I am. But I don't care. So, in my opinion, the winner of the US election will be, drumroll please, Kamala Harris. What? She's dead unpopular. It doesn't matter. It's all about causing unrest in the US as far as I'm concerned. You've got Donald Trump doing everything, looking really popular and all that kind of thing. And I think that's all being done deliberately because people think, how the heck did she win? Well, I think you're going to find out probably 4 years after the accusations were made in the first place about the voting not being legitimate. I think it's going to be blatantly obvious that something is up. And I think you are going to see unrest or unrest in the US amongst its citizens. I probably can't say the 2 words together. But there was a film out this year where the people were fighting in the streets, and the Obamas have also brought a film out that was on Netflix called Leave the World Behind. I believe a lot of these things are also predictive programming and conditioning. But what I will say is, for anybody that watches The Simpsons, and I know you're probably going to agree with me, they don't predict anything. They are laughing at you and me. It's all a script. It's blatantly obvious what's happening. And there is an image where I can't show you now, but all you need to go on YouTube, and what you need to type in Simpsons Kamala Harris. And all of a sudden, a few months after the election, what they'll say is, oh, The Simpsons predicted it. No, The Simpsons aren't predicting anything. The Simpsons is being used to ridicule the general public by blatantly showing people that everything is a script. So, sorry for those Simpsons fans. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough, so if you give me a like, a subscribe, let me know in the comments if you think I'm bonkers, or let me know if you're thinking along the same lines. So, I think when I say Kamala Harris, what I would say is it's probably easier to back the Democrats just in case something happens to Kamala Harris. And that's not a prediction that something will. I'm just saying you never know. Anything can happen between now and November the 5th. Remember the November. Or is it? Oh, remember. I made a mess of that, Hunter. Remember the 5th of November. Anyway, so the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.